What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm Swiper Cam. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all, I appreciate it. We are the day after the birthday, and we got to talk about the Western Conference. There's been a lot of movement around the NBA. There's been a lot of great things that are happening. Teams are making key acquisitions. Teams are in the process of making more acquisitions, and we have to talk about where the Denver Nuggets stand in light of all of this. And as well, we got to talk about where everybody else falls into place. Now, the way I want to have this conversation is we're going to talk about the top 8 teams that I think that are going to make up the Western Conference. And again, no, I'm not hungover. I actually just got back from the gym. Traffic was crazy, getting back to the house. And so I was like, man, I'm not even going to change, not even going to worry about it. I'm going to just wear a little Gucci, you know what I mean? I got my hat on, my glasses, whatever, you know. But nah, bro, I don't even get down like that, to be honest with you, bro. But look, the Western Conference is going to be stacked. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, like what exactly is going to happen with Denver in light of the recent health acquisitions they're looking for in terms of Jamal Murray coming back and Michael Porter Jr. coming back, KCP, Bruce Brown, squad. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, outside of the Denver Nuggets, the team that I'm most interested to watch and see throughout the course of the regular season is the Los Angeles Clippers. I think that the Clippers have a legitimate chance to be an NBA Finals team. I know that people are not as high on Paul George or because they're the Clippers and, you know, historically they haven't done super well. And there's a lot of different reasons why people are down on the Clippers, the bubble, all kind of stuff. And so I get it. I understand all of those concerns. I think for me, like when I'm evaluating what the Clippers are going to have a top 6 player in Kawhi Leonard who could easily become a top 4 player by the end of the season. They're going to have a top 15 player in Paul George. And then, you know, you never know what you're going to get from John Wall. John Wall could decide that, you know, he's healthy. Maybe he's able to really elevate them as a playmaker defensively. If he's not completely terrible, he can add to them the Norman Powell, and Rocco, and the rest of the roster, and Marcus Morris, and Mika Zubac. Like, they're going to have so many options ahead of them. So I just think that the Clippers can have a real chance. I think, again, with the Warriors, Clippers, and the Nuggets, I think are the 3 best teams. But we got to talk about the Western Conference as a whole. So, again, my evaluation of the Clippers is I think the floor for the LA Clippers is going to be a top 4 seed. I think that's the floor. I think if everybody's healthy, which, again, we're assuming in this exercise, everybody's able to play throughout the entire season, at least 65-plus games, I think the floor for the Los Angeles Clippers is going to be about the 4th seed in the Western Conference. I just don't see them falling out of that. I think, once again, they're going to cause matchup problems for Golden State. They're going to cause matchup problems for Denver at times. They're going to cause matchup problems for Lakers, the Mavericks, the Suns, anybody. That half-court offense they're going to be able to run with, again, having Kawhi and PG and John Wall. And then, again, you want to put Marcus Morris, Mika Zubac, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, Nicholas Batum. You can put whichever one you want out there with them. Put 3 players around those 2 players they have around their superstar and their star-level player. They're going to be elite, man. So I think the Clippers are going to be a real force to be reckoned with. I think the floor for the Clippers is the 4th seed. I think the ceiling for the Clippers, obviously, is winning the NBA Finals. I think, again, if you compare them with the Milwaukee Bucks, hey, man, I think they have some matchups they could win there. If you compare them with the 76ers, they don't have an answer for Joel Embiid, who does. But outside of that, they can't guard them either. They're not going to be able to guard Kawhi and PG and the rest of the game, even with Matisse Thybulle, even with PJ Tucker. Again, man, you know, Kawhi Leonard is one of them type of players in the playoffs. He's going to get his 30. He's going to do it at moderate efficiency, which is good efficiency. And he can hit those mid-range shots. He can hit 3-pointers. And he's going to play great defense. So James Harden can have to step up there. I like him also, you know, versus the Raptors. I like him versus the Celtics. I think their big 2 is better than the Celtics' big 2 by a pretty significant margin. I think Tatum obviously is just an outright best player on the Celtics. But, again, he's not Kawhi. If you want to say Tatum and Paul George are on the same tier, I think Tatum had a better year than Paul George. Paul George could easily creep back up to be, you know, one of the 9 to 10 to 11 best players in the NBA. So I think that they can also be elite as well. So I think the Clippers' floor is going to be the 4th seed, and I think that their ceiling is going to be winning the NBA Finals. That's how high I am on the LA Clippers. Now, the Golden State Warriors. the Golden State Warriors are coming off of a championship. They're going to have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green all to start the year, which is going to be incredible for them. They haven't had that since 2018. They haven't started the year together, all on the court. So giving them an opportunity to play together, to start the year together, is going to be huge. Again, floor for the Warriors. I mean, if there's injuries and like Steph Curry gets injured, I can see them fall into like the 5th seed, but this is like Steph Curry has to miss 40% of the season, 30% of the season for this to happen, for them to have a floor of like the 5th seed in the Western Conference. But if they're all together healthy, no way. I just don't see it happening. I think, again, everybody healthy, realistically, the floor is going to be anywhere from the 3 to 4 seed. And the reason I say 4 seed, because you never know. There could be a team that rises above. Say the Timberwolves are just that great, right? They're just like beating everybody in the regular season, and they're going to be one of those regular season teams. They're taking over one of the 3 seeds. And then you got the Wolves that are mixing up with the Nuggets, Warriors, and Clippers, right? But I think for sure, I think that their ceiling is once again going to be an NBA championship. I just think that they have all the pieces that they need. Again, they lost Otto Porter Jr., they lost Gary Payton II. They just re-signed, well, not signed. So JaMychal Green is getting his contract bought out by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now he's going to join the Golden State Warriors. So, again, adding Dante DiVincenzo, adding JaMychal Green, and then also having Jordan Poole, having Jonathan Kuminga, and then also having, James Wiseman. Yeah, bro. Like, they're going to be a nice bench. And then on top of the starters, obviously, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and then Kevon Looney. I think they're going to be an elite team. Again, their ceiling is going to be winning another NBA championship. This is assuming they don't get Kevin Durant, which changes everything, obviously. But assuming that they don't get Kevin Durant and that they're just going to be an elite team again, then easily. Absolutely. Bet your money. Bet your money that you're going to see the Golden State Warriors have potentially win another NBA championship. So that's their ceiling. Again, floor, I want to say for them is their 4th seed. And again, if injuries, 5th seed, maybe 6th seed, if Steph Curry misses a lot of time. But again, I'm assuming he's going to be healthy. Real floor is going to be probably around a 3 seed. And then I think, again, their ceiling is going to be winning an NBA championship. So that's kind of my take on the Warriors. So again, the Clippers and the Warriors. Next up, Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. I think the Timberwolves are going to win 50-plus games next year, depending on how the Western Conference shakes out. You can win 50 games in the Western Conference and be the 8th seed, which has happened before, or I think maybe 2011 or something like that. And then you could also be a 50-win team like it was this year and be the 4th seed, basically. It just depends. If everybody's healthy, then I think that's going to be around 4th, 5th, or 6th seed in the Western Conferences next year. And I think, again, I'm going to say the ceiling for the Wolves, I would say, probably going to be 3rd seed, but it would take a lot. Like, that means other teams are not playing as well, and then the Wolves are also dominating to such a degree that they're able to pick up a lot of really key wins against some really good teams. So I don't see them doing that. Their floor, 6th seed, fighting to stay out the play-in. Maybe it doesn't work together with Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. Maybe Anthony Edwards doesn't take that next step. D'Angelo Russell, like I said, he had like 15 straight games or something this year where he had 12 points under. So even with that, I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves also, that their floor is going to be a situation where they could legitimately be fighting to stay out of the play-in. They can still be really good. We got to talk about other teams as well. So I think that the Timberwolves could easily be in a situation where they could be a 3rd seed if everything goes right and the other teams are underperforming. And then again, I think even beyond that, I think that their floor is going to be around the 6th seed to the play-in. I think that with Rudy Gobert, they're going to have a top 5 defense when he's on the court. If they can sustain that, I think they'll be a top 5 defense. Anthony Edwards could take a leap defensively this year. Again, having Karl-Anthony Towns as either your on-ball big or I think it's going to be your on-ball big. And so that means like when they're playing against the Nuggets, he's going to be guarding Jokic. And you can let Rudy Gobert be your free roamer, or you can switch it either way, whatever you want to do. Having that length on your back court, on your front court, and then again, having your back court. I know they like McDaniels. And then again, D'Angelo Russell, I'm not really, he might be able to play at an all-star level again. And then, like I said, Anthony Edwards could take like a third-team All-NBA lead, maybe higher. I mean, maybe higher. I don't know. Like, I like Anthony Edwards a lot. I can't see him being a true guard in the Western Conference and being second team. But I can say maybe I can see a third team like at its peak if he was able to put it all together. But even then, I still doubt that. So I think they can be really good. I'm not as sold though. Once again, like I'm curious to see they don't have the perimeter defenders against Anthony Edwards is going to take a massive leap. Even then, you don't really want him taking those responsibilities like that every night. D'Angelo Russell is not a good defender. He's getting cooked by everybody in the Western Conference. And then McDaniels is a good defender as well. But I don't know, even with their bench now, Naz Reid and McLaughlin and all them, like, again, they might be able to make it run like on the bench, but I don't know, man. I just don't think that. I think they're going to win 50 games. I just think that the West is going to be so good that does not elevate them to a top 4 seed. But again, that's just me. So then next up, I'm going to say the Dallas Mavericks. I feel torn about the Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka Doncic is going to have another first-team All-NBA year because he's that good. But I'm also curious as in, like, what are they going to do now? So Jalen Brunson's not there. He's at this stage in his career a lot better than Spencer Dinwiddie is. So now it's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, Luka Doncic, JaVale McGee, Maxi Kleber, and Dorian Finney-Smith. That's going to be your starting 5. Or is Tim Hardaway starting? So Tim Hardaway back. They don't get rid of him. So it's going to be Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxi Kleber, JaVale McGee. So then what? Like, who's the secondary ball handler there? Because that's not Tim Hardaway. So maybe they do start Spencer. Maybe they do. But I'm not moved by that. Like, they had a very good year relative to what was happening in their Western Conference, and they picked up tremendously. But again, the Clippers are back. They're better than before. We didn't even talk about the Nuggets yet. They don't have a better roster than the Nuggets. The Timberwolves. Are they better than the Timberwolves? I mean, there's an argument. I think they can be. But again, the Timberwolves are also, they're going to be fighting anywhere between the 4th and the 6th seed. So where does that leave the Dallas Mavericks? Ceiling next year, everybody healthy. Once again, this is what this is coming down to. Everybody healthy. I think the Mavericks ceiling next year is going to be the 4th seed. If they had their best year and everybody else is also healthy, again, they can sneak into a 3rd seed. I just don't see it happening, though. I just don't see it happening. So I think a 4th seed is about what their ceiling is. I think the floor next year is going to be like playing. And again, that's 7th to 8th seed. But again, that's just if the Western Conference is doing what I think it's going to do, that puts the Mavericks at about 48 wins, to 47 wins. And next year, that's a play-in. That's still really good. 40, 48, 49 wins even maybe. It's very good. But that's a play-in team if everybody's fully healthy. So I don't like that they didn't really do much to fortify the thing about Luka Doncic. NBA University, we're actually going to have him on this week as well to talk some basketball. But, yeah, man, like he put out a graphic and just kind of showed like defensive responsibilities and your efficiency and your spot-up shooting and all that. And Luka was at the bottom left, meaning no D and no 3. Like not a great shooter from 3 off ball. And then also he's not a good defender yet. So I'm just curious, man, like they're going to have Christian Wood. And Christian Wood, he might think of himself as a star-level player. But it looks like, to me, are you going to put JaVale McGee and Christian Wood out as your front line? I don't love that. I don't think they're going to. I think Christian Wood might be best served as a 5. But because he can't guard – I mean, let me not say it. Actually, no. He's best served as a 4. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm really struggling with that. Like I've been thinking about that one a lot. I think that with Christian Wood, JaVale McGee, Maxi Kleber, we'll see what their front line looks like. JaVale McGee's going to have to play his butt off, and he went there to start. So JaVale started. So he's going to give some rim protection for them. He's going to be a great roll man as well. Christian Wood is going to be a great floor spacer at different points in time. He'll be another great pick and roll man. So maybe that's how they optimize Luka Doncic. And that pick and roll heavy, it's going to be pick and roll heavy. It's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, pick and roll heavy. And you're going to have to deal with us. We're going straight to the basket. Maybe that's what's it. Maybe Luka can average 28, 9 and 8. That's in his sleep. Like his usage is going to be 39% or whatever else it is, maybe 40 this year. And he can average 29, 8 and 9. And you can have a 57 will be high for him. 56, 55% true shooting. Again, first team All-NBA again. Okay, but okay. 4th seed, 5th seed, 6th seed. I don't think they're a championship contender. I think out of the teams we talked about so far, I think the Clippers are a championship contender and the Warriors are a championship contender. And I think that the Mavs and the Timberwolves are all playoff teams fighting for playoff spots. I think they're both solidified playoff teams. I think they're stealing it to playoff teams. So that's where the Mavs are. Now, the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns won 64 games last year. They just re-signed DeAndre Ayton to a 4-year, $133 million deal. But I am not convinced that the Phoenix Suns are fully ready to roll back next year and be an elite team. I don't know what to make of the Monty Williams, the DeAndre Ayton, and the Robert Sarver situation and ownership. Like, I don't know what to make of it all yet, but it doesn't feel like an environment that's conducive with championship expectations, maybe championship realistic expectations. Like, hey, we believe we're going to make a significant, a leap, and we're going to be able to put it all together. Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder, Chris Paul, aging even more, going to be 37 years old next year. And then on top of that, Devin Booker, who had a first-team All-NBA season. I don't think that's happening again. I don't. Ceiling for the Suns, I'm going to say again, the ceiling for them is, first seed. They could easily be a first seed again. Maybe they just play that well. Maybe they're just able to put it together again. Maybe they're just that good. The chemistry doesn't slip at all. DeAndre Ayton gets better. Maybe he's a 21, 10, 21, 11, and 3 guy next year. Takes a little bit of a leap. Devin Booker, 25, 5, and 5 guy again. Maybe that's what he is. Chris Paul, 18, 5, and 8. Maybe he takes that. Jay Crowder, great shooting, defense, floor spacing. Mikal Bridges, another lead, but another great year defensively. Locks in as a shooter. Has a great shot profile. And again, Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne, Bismack Biyombo. Maybe they put it all together. But I'm just I'm not as confident. I'm much more confident in the Clippers right now, the Warriors right now, than I am in the Suns. I think again the floor for the Suns is going to be about the 5th seed. I think the ceiling the 1st seed, but I think the Suns realistic are going to end up at around the 3rd or 4th seed next year. I think they're. If I'm gonna put my actual pick out there, I'm gonna say they're going to be the 4th seed next year. I think the Suns will be the 4th seed next year. Again, this is saying everyone in the NBA is healthy. So I'm saying everybody in the Western Conference is healthy. If you have all the healthy rosters versus them, I think the Suns are the 4th seed. Best case, if it doesn't happen and people are hurt and they're struggling out the gate or whoever else, then yeah, they can be the 1st seed again. But I think in fully healthy Western Conference, they're the 4th seed. I don't know. I think they're a contender. They're just, of all the contenders, I trust them least, if that makes sense. But I might be tripping. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I might be tripping. So that's my thoughts on the Suns. And then next up, man, I'm going to bring them up. The Los Angeles Lakers. Right now, it looks like Russell Westbrook's staying. Right now, it looks like they're running it back. Russell Westbrook, 37-year-old LeBron James, 30-year-old Anthony Davis, with no point of attack defenders to speak of. None. They got Walker, who they got from the Spurs, mid-level exception. Cool. All right. Taylor Horton-Tucker. Cool. All right. I think Kendrick Nunn. Cool. All right. Austin Reeves. Cool. right. But not gonna lie to you, player. I don't see them having a clear run at like a playoff spot. I think they're fighting all season for the playoffs. Unless LeBron James is able to just maintain his historic level of play in year 20, which it could easily happen to this LeBron James, Anthony Davis is going to have to be healthier than he's been in several years at this point in time. And then, again, defensively, when LeBron and Anthony Davis are on the court, they'll be great. When LeBron James or Anthony Davis are off the court, they're not going to be great. So they're going to be able to score because of LeBron and Anthony Davis, but I'm just not sold on that. I'm not sold on that. I don't know. Russell Westbrook, the rumor is that Darvin Ham, again, wants him to be an off-ball player, wants him to be a defensive player. And I feel like we've been trying to get Russell Westbrook to do that for years. I feel like we've been trying to get Russell to do that for years. I'm not sold on the Lakers. Now, again, we're going to have another great episode hopefully this Friday with a bunch of content creators, and we're going to have some Lakers representatives there. And again, I know the dream is that they're going to get Kyrie Irving. I'm not one of those people at this point that like, hey, put elite talent on the court and it's just going to work out. I'm just not sold on that, especially with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. They just haven't shown me enough the last couple of seasons that they can put it together physically, mentally lock in and do what they need to do. I'm not sold yet at this point. And again, it's LeBron James. So I'm going to give LeBron, hey man, do what you do. It's LBJ. I think he can get it done. But I think the issue, though, is coming back to, is he able to maintain that at age 37, going on 38 on December 30th, and then with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, just not completely sold. So that's the LA Lakers. I think their ceiling is going to be the 5th seed. I think their floor is going to be, they're missing the playoffs again. The floor is they're completely out of the playoffs. Their ceiling is for the 5th seed. That's my estimation. What I think is going to happen is they're in the play. That's the LA Lakers. All right, now the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, they're going to have C.J. McCollum at point, Herb Jones at 2, Brandon Ingram at the 3, Zion Williamson at the 4, and they're going to have Jonas Valanciunas at the 5 with Jackson Hayes off the bench with the kid they just drafted this year. Forgot his name. Just blank me. If y'all remember his name, please tell me. Then they're going to have like a nice little bench as well. Not great. Dyson Daniels. That's who it was. Dyson Daniels. The Pelicans have a real shot again. I think that the ceiling for the Pelicans is going to be the 4th seed is the ceiling for the Pelicans. I think that the floor for the Pelicans is going to be, again, out of the playoff because, again, Zion, is he going to play? Are they going to make the talent work? And, again, you can't just put talent on the court and then say it's going to work. That's just not how the NBA works. That's just not how it works. You saw the 2011 Miami Heat. Wade Bosch and LeBron James. They flamed out in the playoffs. They got beat by a better overall basketball team. So the Pelicans have all the talent, but can they make it work? I think they can. I think they can fight for a playoff. Jose Alvarado, that's right. Jose Alvarado on that roster as well. So I think, again, if you just say you want to put the Pelicans on the court, I think their ceiling is the 4th seed. I think their floor is going to be sitting somewhere out of the playoff. But I think realistically, I think the Pelicans will be a play-in team pushing for the 6th seed. It's about what I'm thinking. I think they're going to be around that Dallas Mavericks territory. I think they're going to be somewhere around the Dallas Mavericks territory. But again, y'all hear this. The Western Conference is loaded. They could win 46 games next year and be in the play-in again. That's what happened to the Timberwolves this last year. So the Pelicans could be really good and still be in the play-in. And I think that's, again, 6th seed to the play-in is about right for them, given how everybody else at the West, like I said, we're talking, again, the 3 teams I already mentioned, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and then the Warriors, and then the Suns. That's 4. And then you're also saying the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Lakers. That's 8. So the Pelicans is going to be fighting with the Mavericks and then with the Timberwolves. But I don't think they're going to be better than the Timberwolves, and I think they're going to not maybe be better than the Mavericks. So they'll be fighting around that tier somewhere. So I think that's fair. 6 seed to play in should be their goal. Try to make a legitimate playoff run this year. You had a nice little first round versus the Suns last year. Build on that momentum. See what you can do. Again, that's my prediction for what they can do. All right. Now, let's get to the team that you all been waiting for. I feel like we've stalled enough. The Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown, Davon Reed, Jeff Green, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Ismail Kamagate, Colin Gillespie, Jack White, Zeke Naji, and DeAndre Jordan. What is the future for the Denver Nuggets? Ceiling, I've said this already, the Nuggets absolutely could win the NBA championship next season. That's their ceiling. Bones Highland. I'm sorry. By the way, shout out. Bones Highland, if you are in Denver, Colorado, he has been looking for his dog for the last 3 days, I want to say. His dog was taken from him. Please go to Twitter. You can find a picture of the dog on Bones Highland's page. He has been talking about it for the last 3 days. As I said, please help Bones find his dog if you can. I believe there's a $5,000 cash reward and obviously a huge thank you from Bones if you can assist him. So please go check out, see if you can help him find his dog. So the Denver Nuggets can win the NBA championship next year. The Denver Nuggets can win the NBA championship next year, and I think people need to settle on that fact. The Denver Nuggets are going to have, according to NBA history, the best offensive trio ever. And Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic. Again, that begins and ends in large part because of Nikola Jokic. The ceiling for the team, the Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship. The Denver Nuggets are the first seed in the Western Conference. Nikola Jokic wins MVP again for the third straight season. Jamal Murray has an all-star level season. Michael Porter Jr. has an all-star level season. And Aaron Gordon gets votes for second team to all defense this year. And then on top of that, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is going to get votes for second team all defense this year. Christian Brown is going to be the absolute jack of all trades that the Nuggets have never had. Jeff Green is able to play 15 minutes a game, give great minutes, give great effort. The team stays healthy, Lord willing. I hope we're owed a healthy year this year, Lord willing. Bones Highland wins Sixth Man of the Year or has Sixth Man of the Year consideration. All of it. That's the ceiling. I think the most outrageous points of that are obviously the defensive second team all defense nod for Aaron Gordon and KCP. Like I said, NBA University put the graphic out that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is one of the best perimeter defenders and spot-up shooters in the NBA by far. He's right up there with Fred VanVleet, with OG Anunoby. Who else was up there with him? Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Gary Harris was up there as well. He's one of the best of the best. You couldn't ask for a better addition. He's 6'5". He can do it all. Again, if everybody stays healthy, Lord willing, plays 65-plus games, this team is going to be dangerous the whole season. I think the Denver Nuggets can win the NBA championship next year, be the first seed. I think Nikola Jokic at 25, 12, and 11, or 25, 13, and 25, 12, and 9, 25, 12, and 10, Lord willing, if you would able to average a triple-double on that dumb efficiency, bro. Oh, my goodness. 25, 12, and 10. He wins the MVP again. Bones Highland. I think, again, Bones Highland off the bench, 15, 3, and 5. 15, 3, and 5 off the bench. Shoots 43%, 44% from the field. He shoots 41% from 3, and he shoots 89 to 90%. Well, no, actually higher. He shoots 90% at the line, and he has a 59% true shooting. Oh, yeah, that's a wrap. Bones Highland is going to get consideration for sixth man. I think that's what he can do. I think legitimately 13, 3, and 5, or 15, 3, and 5, rather. 15, 3, and 5 on 43, 41, 90. That's a reasonable ceiling from Bones Highland. That's a ceiling from Bones Highland. I think that's what he can do next year. Jamal Murray, if he can be a 24-5 player again, 25-5 player, again, he's going to be fully healthy going into the season. If he can be a 25-5 player and that's his floor, then and then again, shooting 46, 41, 91 is about reasonable for him. 25-5, 46, 41, 91. Shoots 80% at the rim again. 78 to 80% at the rim again, like he did last year. Then, yeah. Michael Porter Jr. Averaging 18 to 19. Well, let's just go ahead and say it. Michael Porter Jr. averages 20, which is easy for him. 7 rebounds, 1.5 assists a game, 0.9 blocks, 0.6 steals, and he shoots, which is realistic for him. He shoots 54, 45, 82 next year, which is literally what he already did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 27 and 1.5, 54, 45, 82. Yeah, great. Yeah, all-star level player. Both of them. All 5 of them. That's a 60-plus win team right there. Aaron Gordon. Go back down. Go back down even more on your points. Go to 12. Go to 6. Go to 3. 12, 6, and 3. Elite defense. Call it a day. Call it a day. Call it a day. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 13, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He shoots 45% from the field, 42% from three-pointer, and then 85% from the line. Call it a day. 60-plus win team. Nikola Jokic wins MVP. Nuggets win championship. That's the ceiling. The floor for this team is going to be everybody is healthy. Lord willing, everybody's healthy. I would say the floor should be the 4th seed if everybody's healthy. That means like they're integrating everything back again. Like Jamal starting off a little bit slow, Michael Porter Jr. starting off a little bit slow, and then we're like talking about we're moderating their time on the court. They're skipping some games more frequently than you would like. Their minutes are also decreasing. They're just not as smooth coming into the season. Jokic is Jokic, but everybody else is able to kind of pick up the pool. Yeah, then that's a 54 win team, 53 win team, 4 seed. Again, ceiling 60 plus wins. So that's about what I think. I think again, somebody asked a great question. Michael Malone, Coach of the Year, finally. If this team wins 60 plus games, 2 all-star level players, a super freaking star, an MVP 3rd year in a row, plus coaching the 6th Man of the Year candidate, and maybe most improved player. Michael Malone finally wins Coach of the Year. Finally. He's one of the winningest coaches in the NBA the last 4 seasons. Gets no love for it. So that's a great comment. And on top of that, Calvin Booth wins Executive of the Year for making the additions of KCP and Bruce Brown and the rest of the roster construction. No, maybe not Executive of the Year. He gets nominated for Executive of the Year because I don't think, when you win that award, you got to make all these splash moves like James Jones, CP3, and all that other stuff. Like Sean Marks getting nominated for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, like James Harden, like he did anything. So I think he gets nominated. I think if this team they're a top 2 offense and they're a top 7 defense, yeah, call it a day. Michael Malone, Coach of the Year, easy. So that's where the Nuggets are. I think again, man. I think realistically, the Nuggets are going to be the 1, 2, or 3 seed. And I think, again, it's going to be the Warriors, Clippers, Nuggets, all filling out the top 3 seeds in the Western Conference. Those are your contenders in the Western Conference. Each one of those teams has a legitimate argument to win the NBA championship next season. Each one of them. So it's going to be Nuggets, Clippers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Mavs, Pelicans, and then it's going to be your Lakers, and then everybody else. It's kind of how I would feel about the conference. That's kind of what I'm thinking about how the conference is going to look. Oh, Mo, I forgot. I'm glad I didn't skip over this. Memphis Grizzlies. I'm sorry. Memphis Grizzlies. Let me do them real quick. Memphis Grizzlies. That's what I meant to add. Jaren Jackson Jr. is out for 6 to 8 months is the only issue. So he's not going to be back till December or January. I think the ceiling for the Memphis Grizzlies is going to be the 2 seed. I don't know if they're good enough to win the 1st seed. The 2 seed, I think, is a legitimate ceiling for the Memphis Grizzlies. The floor for the Memphis Grizzlies, if everybody's like, oh, snap, the Western Conference loaded. They're fighting for a play-in team. They're fighting to be a play-in team. I think that's the floor for them. Realistically, the Memphis Grizzlies are going to fall outside the top 3, and they're going to end up in the next 3 with the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, and the Grizzlies. That's kind of how I see them shaping out the rest of the season. The Timberwolves, the Mavs, and the Grizzlies are going to be fighting for that. I think, again, your Pelicans, your Lakers, and your Blazers are going to kind of make up that next three. I'm going to write this on Twitter, by the way, so people can kind of see where my brain is thinking with this. I think Ja Morant has, if at maximum level, has another MVP caliber season. For the media, has an MVP caliber season. I don't think he's an MVP player yet. I don't think that he's going to be better than Jokic and Luka and Steph Curry. I just don't think, and Kawhi Leonard. Like I don't think he's up that ilk. He's right outside of that, but I think that's reserved for those kind of players. I think the media can put him in there. I think he's around that Devin Booker tier of player, which is still really good, which is an all-NBA level player. Dylan Brooks, maybe he makes a leap this year. Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back, plays really well. Yeah, man. I think that they're going to be around that 4 through 6 area is where the Memphis Grizzlies should probably fall. I think that, again, I just think the West is going to be so loaded. I hope you all are ready. Lord willing, we get everybody healthy. I hope you all are ready for how good the Western Conference is going to be next year. Yeah. Somebody brought it up. Aaron, Memphis losing Anderson and Melton's going to hurt as well. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. That's going to be big. Anthony Melton and Kyle Anderson were really, 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 really good additions for them. And they were good players. So that's not a small loss, man. So we'll see what they end up doing. And then I want to talk about the Blazers really quick. Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Josh Hart. So I would say their starting 5 is going to be Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, and then Yusuf Nurkic, and then having Gary Payton II and Nasir Little coming off the bench. Yeah. I think they're going to be fighting for the 6th seed. I think they're going to have some games. They're going to beat some teams they shouldn't beat. That's how the Blazers play. They're going to beat some teams they shouldn't beat. They're going to lose some games that they shouldn't lose. Anthony Simons, $25 million a year deal over the next 4 years. I think Josh Hart's going to be a good player for them. I don't know how great I like him at the 3, but he's 6'5", 6'5", 215. Jeremy Grant, we'll see how he plays at the 4. I think that should be their starting lineup. Maybe they have some other things in mind. I mean, Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons are starting. I think a clothing lineup for them: Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Gary Payton II, Josh Hart, and Jeremy Grant against small teams. I think that would be a nice little small ball lineup for them. Like I said, realistically though, I think they're outside that next 3. I think the Blazers and the Pelicans and the Lakers are in that next tier. So there's that 3rd tier: the Warriors, Nuggets, Clippers, Timberwolves, Mavericks, and the Grizzlies. And then Blazers, Pelicans, Lakers are like my next 3. And I think those are your 9 teams that are really vying for playoff spots on a consistent basis. And obviously you got your Oklahoma City Thunders. As a matter of fact, let me go. So you have Oklahoma City Thunders. Man, that's right. Wait, I got to think about this. So that's the other thing too. So I think let me expand that group a little bit. So I think the Clippers, Warriors, Nuggets are tier 1. I think the Suns are at the top of tier 2, but it's the Suns, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, and the Wolves are 4 teams in tier 2. And then I think after that, it's going to be the Pelicans, Lakers, and then the Blazers. Utah falls out completely. San Antonio falls out completely. Sacramento Kings are going to be trying to get into that 3rd tier. I don't know if they make it. Then Houston's going to be they're going to be fighting for a top draft pick for Wembanyama next year. OKC's fighting for Wembanyama. Houston's fighting for Wembanyama. Sac might fight for Wembanyama. And Utah's going to fight for Wembanyama. So there might be 4 teams that are actually close to being in the top 10 in the lottery next year. So, yeah, that's how I see the Western Conference going next year. 3 teams in tier 1, Warriors, Clippers, Nuggets. 4 teams in tier 2, Suns, Grizzlies, Wolves, Mavericks. And then I think 3 realistic teams in tier 3, And again, that's your Pelicans, your Blazers, and then your Lakers. I think that's kind of where it's going to be. Like I said, after that, OKC, they might try for a plan, maybe with Chet and Giddey and SGA. They try for a plan, so they're at the top of that tier 4. And then I think, like I said, Houston. I think Sacramento's a better team though than OKC. So I'll say Sacramento will be at the top of tier 4. Next will be OKC, and then after that it will be like San Antonio and Houston, and then Utah. That's how I think the Western Conference is going to shape out. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. If you're watching this video after we already recorded, let me know what you think. That's my prediction. That's what I'm thinking. Y'all go follow me at SwipeACam on Twitter. I'm on there every day trying to interact, trying to get content out, trying to make sure you are up to speed on things that are happening around the NBA. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Western Conference. Man, I got more content coming out tomorrow. I got a guest coming in on Thursday. I got more guests coming in on Friday as well. So we got a bunch of stuff happening this week, you all. Swipe Gang, y'all are excellent. Love y'all. Thanks for the birthday shout outs, and we will see y'all soon.